The best comparison ever, though, is North versus South Korea. You want to see two extremely different economic systems implemented. Here it is. This is in 2002. I'm sure it's updated now. South Korea, about 20 grand in GDP per person. North Korea, 1,000. That's even worse than most of your poor African countries. Now, to show you how simple the socialist ideology is, or how flawed it is, consider this back in the 5th grade. When I was in the 5th grade, I think it was my social studies teacher, said, okay, what would happen in a communist country where everyone makes the same amount? Okay? Or what would happen, you were paid the same amount whether you worked or not? In the 5th grade, over 25 years ago, that made sense to me. I said, well, yeah, why would you work? I wouldn't work. I'd play video games all day. That's what I would do. If I didn't have to work, and what, I'm going to be paid the same whether I'm a janitor or a doctor? Well, I'm going to become a janitor. Why would I go to school for 8 years? Doesn't make sense to me. All right? Now, to this day, 25, however old you are, maybe 20 years later, no socialist has been able to explain this away. No one has been able to refute the simple 5th grade logic. The simple 5th grade logic that I can understand when I'm 12, I think, when you're in the 5th grade. No socialist has been able to explain why it would work otherwise. Same thing here, 5th grade logic. Okay, we have a nation of 300 million people. Which is better? Which is going to work better? Having 300 million people individually make their own economic decisions because they're finally aware and very intricately aware of their own personal financial situation, or having a bureaucrat or a bureau or 600 people with a cabinet and 535 in Congress decide for everybody which one's going to be more efficient. Again, socialists cannot get past this simple 5th grade logic. Now, microcosmic example, but still, again, you see the flaw in not the logic, but almost the complete refusal to adhere to logic. Gun control. If we ban guns, only criminals will have them. True? Yes, it's true. If you ban guns, you're a criminal if you have one, okay? So the good guys don't have guns, or at least the law-abiding citizens don't have guns. You tell this to a leftist who is a gun control freak, they're not right over it. It's going to sail right over them. You say, no, only the bad guys are going to have guns. Bad guys are going to have guns regardless, just like drugs. We try to outlaw drugs. Guess what? People still have them. Underground economy. That's how it works. Same thing with guns. Only the bad guys are going to have the guns. Well, yeah, but we got to think of the children, a complete non sequitur to the point that you were trying to make. They cannot get over this simple statement. Thinking versus feeling versus knowing. Leftists feel. Socialism, leftism, it's an ideal. It's very emotionally based. They want to do good, but they're too darn lazy to actually think about how do we achieve good. Africa is a perfect example. I think the last is like 1.2 trillion, maybe 1.5, whatever estimates you want to use. A lot of money has been spent on Africa. Has it improved? No, it's still pretty much a hole. We have got to make it known what will work, what economic system will work. Leftists say, I want to do good, and they say I want to do good, and then they go and recycle and drive a Prius. And that's about it. They don't actually find out whether or not their policies result in good. We must know. We cannot afford to feel. We have to know the empirical data that supports capitalism. We have to know the logical and moral purpose of having capitalism. We cannot become, I don't know if you listen to Sean Hannity, the housewives, the trophy wives called, oh, you're a great American, Sean Hannity. You're a great American, too. My husband told me to listen to it. No, out. Get off the team. You're the last one we pick when we pick for kickball. You are gone. You're not helping. You need to know why. You need to be able to debate on your own, argue on your own, have the data and the statistics ready, not just, hey, you're a great American, Sean Hannity. It will not work. You'll get eaten alive, right? So, argumentative tactics. Most of, if not all of, the pro-freedom capitalist argument tactics is founded in one thing, and that is truth. If you argue the truth, you cannot lose an argument. I have never lost an argument. The reason why is I don't argue something that I don't know to be true. If I don't know it, I don't know. Could be, one way or the other. All right? So again, we have to know the empirical evidence, philosophy, morality, statistics, and so forth and so on. But we have to know two other things. One, where to get this data, and quickly. You're going to have maybe a 5-minute window to argue and convince someone otherwise. Okay? If you got to spend 2 hours in the library, it ain't going to work. Two, you must know your enemy, and that's what we're going to focus on here. One, know your enemy. Leftist psychology. This is where the vast majority of your problems are going to lie. Most of them are emotional. They are too intellectually lazy to go and find out what is going to happen, let alone go to databases, pull up research, and look at charts and data. All right? But above all else, what they lack is what's called intellectual honesty. That if you are engaging with someone in a conversation, that they are intellectually honest with you. Right? Socialism is a religion. Okay? Understand a religion is a belief. You have no proof. There's no actual photographic evidence of Jesus rising from the grave. Dennis Prager, I'm sure most of you know who he is, studied to be a rabbi. He says there is no proof. There is belief. That's what a religion is. Okay? And socialism is the same thing. They have no proof. It's a belief. Well, if we just do this, then birds will chirp, and Barney Fife and Andy Griffiths will come through and have a cup of coffee at the coffee store. All right? Now, the other thing to point out, or two more things to point out about the religion, is also the religion hypocrisy. They can't link. Typically, the people to slam on Christians or people of a religion are leftists. How stupid of you to believe in that religion. Oh, Christians are so naive. Do you really think that dinosaurs existed, Sarah Palin, like 1,000 years ago? Can we, and fine, that may be all great. But in the exact same breath, they will argue for a religion of socialism where they have just as little proof as any other religion. In other words, socialism is a religion, Christianity is a religion. They have no problem ripping on Christianity or Judaism or Islam or whatever else. But boy, will they believe socialism with just as weak evidence and doctrine and so forth. The key thing is to understand that you're arguing against fundamentalists. Not, well, okay, we understand to let other people have their religious beliefs and their own ideological beliefs. These people are fundamentalists. And no matter what empirical data you throw at them, they're not going to believe it. The first thing you must understand about fundamentalism is the ideal comes first. Reality must then fit into that ideal. For example, arguing with an Islamic terrorist. Are you going to convince that person who's that fundamental to maybe consider anything like that? Probably not. Not at all. All right? It's the same thing with leftists. You must realize that you're dealing with fundamentalists and that reality bends to the religion, not the religion says, maybe we should consider what kind of empirical evidence is out there that does or does not support it. Another thing, Socialism, Inc. It is a business that they are in. The vast majority of people on the leftist side of the ideology spectrum major in worthless degrees. The reason why is they're lazy. They don't like math. I've written a post about it. You can criticize me later, but that's just the truth. They don't like calculus. It takes effort. It takes time. So they want to major in fluff. That's fun. Well, who's going to hire you? No one except the government or education or a nonprofit, because no one in the private sector demands your services. Okay? Now, how do you get employment then if you've majored in sociology, philosophy, or whatever else? You've got to go and have some entity take money away from people forcibly to create a job. Ergo, why the majority of your employers are public sector, government, education, so forth and so on, or nonprofits. Okay? The other thing that they don't realize is this, the parasite-host relationship. Capitalists can exist, they would thrive without socialists. We don't need them. Socialists need capitalists. The reason why are the capitalists are the working class. They're the only ones producing anything of worth and value. They're the ones that generate the tax base by which it is taxed to go and fund these worthless programs and these worthless careers and jobs. Right? So you have this hypocrisy here where leftists, they hate capitalism, but without it they wouldn't survive because the funds would not be there. Another example here, the walk ambassadors. Okay? This is on my blog, right, but it was on Joe Souchere and all that other stuff. The city of Minneapolis, apparently the citizens of Minneapolis are complete morons. They don't know how to walk. So they have a program where they hire 4 walk ambassadors. I recently found out there's a walk master to teach people how to bike and walk in the Twin Cities. You can request an ambassador for a meeting or a demonstration. Here's a demonstration. There. Register for classes about biking or walking. Okay? If there is ever an example of Socialism, Inc., this is it. Only a worthless, unemployable moron that has connections at the city is going to get this job.
Say what they pay.
If it paid $1, it would be too much money. Here's another one. This is out in San Francisco. I don't know if you can read this. Because we have a new president, hope for a better America, because we need change like never before on everything from the economy to climate change and more, and because we know that challenges we face from ending our dependence on oil to winning the battle for equal rights are huge, blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine. A leftist outfit. This gets not grant money, bailout money, or not bailout money, stimulus money. It's in part financed by the federal government. I'd love to see, this is basically communism right here. Government financed communist job to go and promote communism. No other way around it, all right? I'd love to see, and I will shut up immediately, I'll take this off the presentation when you find me the pro-capitalist jobs that are created with that one.